Hi, my name is Betty Zhang, and for this video discussion, I'll be talking about two types of nonverbal cues, which are facial expressions of emotion and emotional contagion. I'll explain what they are and give personal examples of interactions involving these cues, talk about the relationship context, and explain why these nonverbal cues are effective in interpersonal communication. Lastly, I'll discuss how nonverbal cues overall impact listening and communication. The first nonverbal cue I chose is facial expressions of emotion. Facial expressions are the movements or positions of the face that communicates emotions without using words. For example, smiling can show happiness, and raised eyebrows can show surprise, and frowning can show sadness or frustration. Facial expressions are important because they often reveal emotions more honestly and immediately than spoken words. One example of this from my life happened during marching band season and when I was drum major at my high school. During competitions and rehearsals, everyone was usually stressed and tired. And one day, one of my friends in my marching band kept saying, oh, she was fine, but her facial expressions clearly showed otherwise. She avoided eye contacts and looked tense and barely smiled during rehearsals. And since we were close friends and had spent years together in marching band, I could tell that something was bothering her, even though she never directly said it. And after rehearsal, I checked up on her privately, and she ended up opening up about feeling overwhelmed with school and leadership responsibilities. The situation, facial expressions were very effective because they communicated emotions that words were hiding. If I had only listened to what she verbally said, I probably would have believed she was okay. Her facial expressions helped me better understand her emotional state and respond more supportively as a friend. This shows how nonverbal communication can provide emotional information that spoken language sometimes cannot fully express. And the second nonverbal cues I chose is emotional contagion. Emotional contagion is when one person's emotions spread to another person, almost like emotions are contagious. And people naturally mirror to or absorb the emotional energy of those around them through tone expressions, posture, or behavior. And for example, when someone is laughing and excited, the people around them often start feeling happier too. And an example of emotional contagion I experienced was during volunteer event at school's Red Cross Club. And at the beginning of the event, many students seemed tired and quiet because it was early in the morning. And later, one of the students' leader came in extremely energetic and positive, and she was smiling, greeting everyone enthusiastically, and encouraging people while we organized donations. And over time, the mood of the whole group changed, and people started talking more, laughing, and participating with more energy. And since we were all classmates and club members working towards the same goal, the emotional atmosphere of the group mattered a lot. In this interaction, emotional contagion was effective because positive attitude spread throughout the environment and improved teamwork and motivation. It demonstrated how emotions are not only personal experience but also social experiences that influence group interactions. And I think nonverbal cues overall have huge impact on the listening component. And listening is just not just hearing words. It involves paying attention to pattern language, facial expressions, tone, and everything. And nonverbal cues help people understand the emotions and intentions behind what is being said. Sometimes a person's words and nonverbal behaviors match, which strengthens communication, but other times they contradict each other, which can reveal hidden feelings behind the words. And nonverbal communication also helps listeners show engagement and empathy. And for example, nodding or maintaining eye contact or having concerned facial expressions during conversations can make the speaker feel heard and understood. Overall, facial expressions of emotion and emotional contagion both play important roles in interpersonal communication because they influence understanding. Thank you.